Hi friends, let's make a tassel diffuser. From home you'll need a pair of scissors and an optional brush or comb. In the kit are the additional items that you'll need, including a metal charm, wooden beads, a piece of invisible string, and your colored macrame string. Okay, let's get started. Take your macrame string and the instruction card that's included in the kit and wrap your string around 4 times. Trim off the string here that will leave an extra piece. Remove the loops of strings from the card and cut them in half at the bottom. Depending on the metal charm that you've received, there are 2 ways to attach the tassel onto the metal charm. I'll show you both methods in this video, but first I wanted to show you some ideas of where to attach the tassel on the different charms. With all of the shapes that I'm showing you here, there's enough space to add all of the strings through the metal charm. For smaller shapes like the moon and the center of the butterfly's body, you'll need to do another method to attach the tassel. And I'll show you that now. Take the extra piece of string that you did not wrap around the card and divide it into separate pieces. This part can get a little bit tricky, but if you leave the end free, I find it's much easier to separate. I also prefer a very thin string to attach onto the metal charm, so I divided it a second time there. With this thinner string, I'm going to tie the top loops of the tassel together using a double knot. Then take another one of the divided pieces of string in order to make a gathering knot at the top of your tassel. Make a small loop at the bottom of one of the ends of the string and lay that over the top of your tassel. The loop should be about halfway down your tassel and there will be a small little tail at the top. Take the longer end of the string and begin wrapping it around everything. This knot is definitely a bit awkward. Even though I've done it hundreds of times, it still can be a bit fiddly. You need to simultaneously make sure everything's getting wrapped and that your loop at the bottom remains intact, while also making sure that everything generally looks kind of tidy. When you're satisfied with how your gathering knot is looking, you're going to take that end that you've been wrapping around and send it through the bottom loop. While keeping hold of everything, you're going to take the top little tail that you left out and gently start pulling it up. The bottom loop will start getting smaller and then eventually you'll want it to disappear underneath the wrapping. It secures your string and also makes it look nice and neat. Trim the small string that's coming out of the top of the gathering knot. Now you can make sure the top of your tassel is neat. If any of the strings are too bulky, you can find the bottom part of the string and pull it down. I like to trim off any of the strings that are extra long at this point. It'll make the brushing out a lot easier. Here I'm using a pet brush in order to brush things out, but you can also use any brush or comb from home. Start at the bottom so that it untangles a lot easier and then slowly work your way up towards the top. Brushing on both sides of the tassel also makes sure that you're getting all of the different strings loosened. Also, I should note that brushing out your tassel is totally optional. If you like how the strings look without brushing them out, you don't have to do this part, and I show that option later in this video as well. Now comes the risky part of this DIY, the trimming of the tassel. As a perfectionist, I'm always at risk of cutting too much off, so just remember you can always cut more, but you cannot add it back on. Attach your tassel onto your metal charm by tying the top string in a double knot. Trim the excess thread close to the knot, and then your bottom tassel part is done. In order to make this cute tassel into a diffuser, we're going to add essential oils onto the natural wooden beads. Over the next couple days, this smell will naturally disperse into any area where you put your tassel diffuser. Take another piece of your divided string and fold it in half. You'll use that little piece of invisible string as a sort of needle in order to get the wooden beads onto the string. Loop the string through your thread and then take the two ends and put them through the middle of your bead. Add the bead first that you'd like to be on the top of your diffuser. Once you're done, remove the invisible string and we'll attach this onto our metal charm using a lark's head knot. Insert the loop through the metal charm where you'd like it to be, and then pull the wooden beads and the rest of the strings through that loop you've just created. Tighten it up and it should be ready to go. I like to do a simple overhand knot here just to keep the wooden beads in place, but that's totally optional. Depending on where you'll hang this item, you can leave the top threads loose, or you can tie another overhand knot here at the top in order to secure it. So this was the method in order to attach the tassel onto a metal charm that has a smaller space. Now I'll quickly go through the method in order to attach the tassel onto a charm where there's enough space to add all of the threads directly. Start by adding all of the threads into the compartment where you want the tassel to be. Now you'll do the whole process for adding a gathering knot at the top of the tassel. While I was making this tassel, I thought it looked super cute without brushing it out, so I'm just going to trim the bottom here. Then it's the same process to add the wooden beads onto the top string. Here are the two final diffusers. I hope that you enjoy the process and the product just as much.